Have you ever driven over a highway bridge and couldn't help but look below? Or stood on a shoreline's rocky ridge just to watch the water flow? And count yourself as one of the few with a different set of dreams, the kind that keeps you up at night, 'cause you can't wait to get to that stream. It's more than a river. It's more than the water flowing or where it's going. It's the grip on the paddle and the shit in the saddle, the V in the boulders and the lean in the shoulders. When you reach for the eddy, it doesn't get better than this. Yes, it's more. So much more than a river.
Hey everybody, welcome here to our second live conversation with Cross Currents Leadership. I'm so excited to have everybody here tonight. We're doing this series just as a special winter push to announce the launch of my new entrepreneurial venture. But this particular episode, I'm so excited to have Jeff Atkins here. Now you guys, we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Substack for just 15 minutes every Sunday and Wednesday in January and February. We're going to be talking to experts across paddle sports and outdoor rec, and it's really designed so you can get the best nuggets of information that are going to help you level up what you're doing this year in paddle sports and outdoor rec. And to that end, Jeff Atkins is just an amazing guy to have on the team. So Jeff, thank you so much for being here with me.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the invitation to be a part of this, and so glad to be here.
Well, we are lucky to have you, my friend. For anybody who doesn't know, I think most people know Jeff, but just for anybody who doesn't, he is an avid paddler from way back. Got started in kayak fishing and man, really blossomed from there. But he is also a very accomplished sea kayaker, a multidisciplinary instructor trainer, and instructor trainer educator. Make sure I get all these right. You got kayak, you got SUP, you got canoe, and you have kayak fishing. Am I leaving any out, any of the big ones?
No, that sounds good.
He's also a former state park ranger, so he's really got an eye and an ear for that beginner audience where I spend so much time. But he also teaches kayakers at all levels all over the world. So I just feel so lucky to have you here, Jeff.
Thank you. Lucky to be here.
So you agreed. You and I have had this conversation in the ether for a long time, and I'm so excited to delve into it a little bit with you. When we get certified as instructors, that weekend, that initial instructor certification experience, man, it's just so intense. And that instructor candidate is just angst-ridden with, am I doing the model stroke? And am I teaching the nuggets of information in just the right way? And it's just, I think, really hard sometimes, particularly at the entry level, for those new instructor candidates to get beyond the basics that weekend and get into different teaching methodologies and options. So what we end up with is, as an opportunity for continuing education for our instructors, learning how to use games for skills progression. And can you please help all my instructor friends? How can they implement this into their classes and make them more fun?
Absolutely. So this goes back to, for like even my beginnings as a park ranger. Why are we doing what we do? Why do we paddle for? It's recreation, right? I mean, this is, we live in an area, we're out there paddling to have fun. So the same reason that we got into this, to get out there, to have fun, to have an adventure, to bring us to nature, to bring us closer to our friends, and to give us an adventure sport, we're there to have fun. So that's what we have to remember. And so one of the ways we have fun is using games. And this isn't a new concept. I mean, there's some documentation we're going to provide you here shortly. It comes from, we have history dates back dealing with the Inuits. So where kayaking originated from hunting and gathering out of kayaks and traveling. The Inuits were doing this thousands of years ago, using games to have fun. Mothers would bounce their kids on their lap singing a song, and then as they progressed and got faster in their cadence, they would bounce their legs more. And so the kid was up there balancing, and so they were learning how to feel like they were in a kayak, and they were enjoying having fun because it was a game. As they got older, there's documentation too where they found rock structures where the rocks are lined out like a kayak on the ground, and the youngsters would sit in those inside of those little rock formations, just like a kayak, and they would use their hunting tools or throwing devices such as harpoons and spears and have to hit moving targets that the rest of the crew and the kids in the other groups are having fun moving these targets, dragging them with ropes. And they were doing this to have a target and making a game out of it. Even in Greenland today, we still have the national champions that goes on there, which they have games and fun mimicking these things. But all this was to build skills towards this advanced skill they were having. But the way they got everybody engaged was to have fun.
Well, I love it because, I mean, it's more fun for the instructor. It's definitely more fun for the students. It's a great way to engage when you have those high energy students or all ages, right? Mm-hmm. And that experiential learning, it just sticks with you better.
Right. And that's, it's like as instructors going into it, we have to be aware of our audience, who we're working with. I've got several of my friends that work with the college students, including myself, and young adults. And sometimes, we're working with ways to get them into the sport, excited about it, like us nerds are, who are really geeking out on all the nerdy fashions and kayaking. These folks are, they're showing up there. They may have an interest. They're trying to determine whether they like this, like the sport or not. So if we can come up with some good games to have them fun, and then maybe if they're young, athletic, and balanced or not, but have a community that supports them, we can put together some crazy fun games, have them build their skill level, and then that gets them hooked. You may have a different group that are more experienced and maybe don't want to be quite as physically demanding on stuff. So we got to come up with a different skill set and a different game set for them to work on their skills that'll give them maybe that nerdy finesse, blade finesse things they're wanting to work on. So, it's a great opportunity for us as an instructor to build our instructor skills as well as build the skills of the students.
Well, let's talk about it. Talk about some of the practical ways that you're using games for skill building. All
right, certainly. One of them is having, the purposeful play. So one of the cool things I've learned, from others, just like, as instructors, one of the best things you do is take classes from other instructors, so you can pick up new ideas from them, things that are good, things you don't like, whatever, and blend it and make your own. Things I've picked up along the way is using a progression of games like boat capturing, where you paddle and you run up and you're tagging another boat, or you're capturing it with a paddle and getting a hold of it, to then working on having boats side by side, and then the two people have to circle each other, and you may do that as a race. So you may have a group of like 6 people out there, they're teamed up, and they both circle each other once. And so while they're doing that, they're learning how to maneuver their boat around another. And then we may have them, the next phase of it, we have them hold on and get used to stabilizing a boat strong enough that the person can stand up. So people love it. You get some good photo ops. They're out there. They never dreamed in a million years they would stand up in a kayak. And you get people, and so someone's there holding them up, keeping them steady, so they're feeling confident. They're having fun, walking away with good photo ops. But in the meantime, with the big picture of it, you're facilitating them learning how to do a T-rescue. So you're learning the boat capture, to go in and get the boat when it's upside down. You're learning how to work around the boat, because when you capture it, you still got to get to the bow so you can bring it up and dump it. You're learning how to stabilize it, so folks can, by holding on where they can stand up, you're learning how to stabilize it so they can get into the boat. So they're having fun learning these skills, so when they get out into the bigger water, the bigger waves, they already know what to do, and they've learned that while having fun and not had to overthink the process, as it being in real time, trying to explain everything.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Now, I know you've got some resources that you've gathered. Are there some specific toys and games and things that you like to recommend to people?
Yeah, so this is a cool one. Let me show you one of the easiest toys you can create out there. And now, 2 tennis balls and a sock. I like to use the really, neon ones that make some colors you can see in the water. Pink, yellow, there. But you put one ball in, put another ball in, push them down. Then all you got to do is tie a quick knot. And then, bam, you have really cool throwable device you can use with your kayak paddle. So you can capture it while you're underway, and you can get it, and you can throw it. You can create a relay race. You can create targets to people to try to hit. All these things. It's so many different levels that you can use this for. I mean, if you're trying to teach side slips or trying to teach bow rudders, if you're in the kind of intermediate stage, nothing like going through the water and having to capture this thing while you're moving. If you're just simply teaching someone how to be comfortable in a boat, and when they're beginning skills, they're having to do a draw stroke over, get to this thing. So they're working on their base skills, working on their boat balance, their connectivity with their boat. They're given something to focus on, so they're not thinking about how unstable they are. It's a way to, it's a simple, easy way that you're pulling it all together there. My friend, one of my buddies, Tom, he takes these things out in the surf zone and throws it in the surf. And so people, when they're learning advanced techniques, they're surfing in and capturing one of these. So it's a great, again, you can use it on multiple levels just for 2 tennis balls and a sock.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So I know you
it also teaches communication skills.
Yeah. Say more about that.
So when you're if you develop a game, especially like where they're like doing a relay team and they have to work together to communicate, and you may give them some parameters, and you say, okay, you've got to work one person at a time. You can't come back to it until the cycles went through. So then they have to communicate, work on strategies. So then they're thinking through, and they quickly learn that, as my friend Scott Brown says, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. They're really learning how to work it together, a plan, and work that plan and make it work faster for them there. So that's a good, it's great for communication, great for paddling skills as well.
Well, I saw Scott Brown in the comments, so he's grinning ear to ear right now, probably.
Awesome. As an instructor trainer, I find, and actually I make this a practice now as a part of my personal personal beliefs that I do when I teach sessions such as ICWs, is I develop in mandatory game building time. So the instructor candidates, as they're learning to teach the skills and learn how to teach, like we teach the ideas model, introduce, demonstrate, explain, activity, summary. So when they get the A, I'm making sure they have times that they have to work together, usually as a team, and come up with games, come up with activities that are fun, and then they challenge each other with them. So it gives them a chance to discover, to think and have fun and make the whole process fun. So it takes the burden off me as the leader.
Right.
So they don't have people don't need to listen to me talk the whole time. So if they can build it and develop it, it's even, the learning expands way beyond more than I can give. So.
Well, I know that you gathered some resources. You already referenced that paper about the history, and you had pointed me toward a couple of books people can purchase with kayak games. We also got, I know Pam Dillon is watching. Pam and Virgil and the folks on the Paddle Sports Committee at NASBLA have a working document for kayak games that they're allowing us to use, and said to send them feedback. They'd love to get some feedback on how they're doing on this draft. But so we've got these documents and tools that are linked in the show notes if you're interested in doing more research and learning more about this. And also, I don't want to speak out of turn, Jeff, but I have a feeling you and I could talk about this forever. If people were really fascinated and interested in this, they ought to tell us in the comments and we'd throw a webinar for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to. If you can't tell, I kind of enjoy this. So, I get excited and realize how fast I'm talking and how much I'm getting excited about it. So, yeah, I'll talk about this all day long.
Excellent. Well, guys, that is most of our 15 minutes right there. So I want to thank you, Jeff, for making time for us on your Wednesday evening. Everybody, our next live conversation will be Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got John McDonald from Play Harder Adventures. He's in Utah. And he is going to be helping us. This is going to be a program that will be of particular interest to all the folks helping trip leaders and guides. He's going to be talking about that new ACA Trip Leader Guide program and kind of just giving you some high-level insight as to what's coming down the pike so that you can access those resources. Also, I just want to throw a special thanks out there, as always, to Jerry Vandiver, my songwriter friend in Nashville, who allows us to use his song More Than a River as part of our countdown. I've also linked his music in the show notes, so if you're interested, go ahead and check him out too. He's awesome. He's got 1 million songs, and they're all great. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We'll see you Sunday. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate having you.
See you later.